You're saying, what if you just like doing it? Anybody can use that reasoning to justify anything. I just like doing it, therefore I should be allowed to keep doing it. When your actions harm another sentient animal that can feel pain, feel joy, experience, when they can suffer, including humans, then that's no longer a justification.
Agree.
So, do you want to start by introducing yourself?
I'm Jill.
Jill, okay, Brandon, nice talking to you. And before we started, you said you love meat, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess the best way that I always start is, because veganism, the definition can be confusing to people, so I'm going to start by defining it so we have a clear start, all right? So veganism is an ideology that rejects the commodification of animals.
Okay.
So that means you don't want to use them, abuse them, or kill them for food, clothing, entertainment, or anything else.
Okay.
So if you're not vegan, what about that definition do you disagree with?
I don't really disagree with being vegan, if that's your choice.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, like, if you are not vegan,
Yeah.
that means that there's something about that definition that you don't align
Yeah,
with.
I think eating meat is healthy. You need it for your. You don't need it. You don't need it because obviously vegans don't need it.
Okay. There we go.
But
Okay.
I just think it's a part of protein. You need protein. It's the best source of protein. You
Okay.
need protein to grow your bones, to be strong.
Okay. So, couple things, right? First, you said it's healthy. Then you said you need it, but I'll give you that. You took that away. Then you said it's protein. It's good for your bones. Protein is actually not for your bones. Protein's for your muscles. But
Wait, I have a question, I guess.
Sure.
Why vegan? Why are you so Why so vegan? Like why not eating meat?
Sure. So that number one, that definition, I align with it completely. And number two, the basic premise of veganism for me is extending the moral consideration that we have for humans to other sentient animals that have a similar or the same capacity of sentience, right?
So basically, like you're saying, like you wouldn't eat a human, so you shouldn't eat animals.
Exactly. Like I would not, I consider humans morally and consider my impact or my actions and how they impact other humans. So why don't we do that to animals? And I said a term, sentience. So sentience is the ability to feel pain, feel joy, be an individual in the world, right? That's what separates most animals and plants, for example, right? So back to the thing, right? So you mentioned you think it's healthy and then protein, right? So there's a plethora of plant-based sources from where you get your protein from. Mm-hmm. When it comes to animal products, there's probably only a few that most people eat: beef, pork, chicken,
Are you
then dairy.
promoting like not to eat animals? Is that like you don't? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just, not just diet. It's not it's rejecting the commodification of animals, right? We don't want to use them, or they're not products. They're individuals, right? Who deserve moral consideration.
I understand exactly where you're coming from, so I'm not even gonna argue. I appreciate actually listening to your side of things.
So
I just love red meat, so I'm gonna continue eating it.
So here's the thing, right? So if you're saying that you, would you say that you agree that animals deserve moral consideration?
No.
No. Okay. So what is different about animals compared to humans where they don't deserve that moral consideration, right? What's the trait that differentiates us?
I don't know. It's just the way I was growing up in life.
Okay.
That's the idea. That's the idea I've always had.
Okay.
Why would I consider a chicken that's probably gonna live for like 6 years when I can, like that's just what they're grown to be eaten.
Sure. So I'm going to equalize it, right? So I'm going to put that in the human context.
Well, you can't eat a human. Like that's not a thing. Like you can.
People have.
Well, yeah, but like that's.
But that's also besides the point. Whether someone.
Well, that's gonna make my point right now because I think this is gonna make my point. It's like you can kill so many animals that are giving you so much nutrients. Like cows give you milk, bacon, like chicken, everything. But then it's like you're not gonna kill a human to eat a human.
Okay, so
Like,
back to the hypothetical, right? I just want to equalize it, right? So you said, well, it's how I've grown up. They're bred to be eaten. That's what you said. Okay.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, you're saying
yeah.
that's the difference between animals and humans, right?
I'm not
Other
saying that's
sentient
the
animals.
full difference, but that's
No,
an
that
idea,
justifies you eating them.
yeah. In a way, a little bit, yeah.
Well, that's what you gave me, so I'm going with it. Okay.
Sure.
So what I'm saying is, if they were a group of humans that we bred specifically to eat, it's not about whether it's happening, it's a hypothetical to test your logic, right? If there were a group of humans that we designated to be eaten, would that be morally justified?
I mean, I guess so, yeah.
Okay. So what you're saying is, okay, just this is what.
Well, like I don't think. Well, like.
Well,
if
hold on.
you're-
I really gotta make this point because when you bite that bullet, right? What you're saying is, if a society designated that there's a subspecies of humans or another part of or a group of other humans that they're gonna breed over and over again to eat,
Yeah.
you're saying that's moral and that's justified. And I think most people would think that's crazy and would reject that. At least most sensible people, because that can put you in harm's way, right? That means that somebody could say, oh, well, we impregnated you for you to have kids to eat them, so therefore it's moral for us to eat your kids. Do you
Well,
understand what I'm saying?
I'm not really saying it in the way that's like going to be a thing. I'm saying like humans are humans and like animals are not humans. They're not humans. So like that's why like they're breeded to be like eaten. Like that's been a thing since like fucking.
Right, but they don't have. So I think that's what we're missing. They don't have to be bred, right? So we're
No, it's
choosing
not,
to
like,
do
like,
it.
They're like. I guess I'm saying is like.
No, they are.
No.
Wait,
So
I have a question. So you prefer like to eat like do you eat like fake eggs and like fake cheese?
No,
like,
mostly whole food,
processed-
plant-based.
the whole foods. Okay.
yeah. But
No, I'm just wondering.
this is not a
whether
health
that-
position. We could go into health as well, but the point that I'm making is, right, you're giving the trait. You're saying, well, it's justified what we do to animals because we breed them, because it's their purpose,
I'm
essentially.
not saying it's their purpose, but you need it for like they are like I'm so into protein and so into like being stronger and like that is like the best source in getting.
So-
have you really looked at the stats? Like I'm just no. Well, you could. I would also if I had more time right this second, I would love to do it as well. To look at the stats of what being vegan is compared to like eating meat, eating like.
Yeah, I could tell you right now. I have sources as well. I'll show you.
But
So
there's no way. Like there's just no.
I can tell you right now.
So
I have.
You genuinely like wholeheartedly believe like you've done
It's
all.
not belief, so I could
You
explain.
really think that just like being vegan, you're 100% stronger than if you're eating real ass meat, like from like.
Okay, well, not real ass meat. So I don't know about real ass meat, but let me. If you, I could explain. If you want to
I
go
want
into.
to like wrap this up because I want to go out.
Sure,
so
sure. But here's the thing, right? If you want to go into nutrition, we could do that. But what I'm saying is if we grant, right, and I'll explain it to you, but let's say we grant that it is. Let's say we grant that vegan diets are just as nutritious as omnivorous diets, which they are, but let's say you don't believe it, but they are.
Okay.
So let's say we grant that. Then that's what I'm testing. I'm testing your moral framework to see, okay, what is your reasoning for thinking that this is moral? And when you give me the reason, well, that's what they're there for, we breed them for food. What you're saying is, then in any other context, that's a justifiable reason, right? Oh, these kids are here, I bred them to eat them, so therefore it's moral, right? You need to have some other trait then, right, because that falls apart. So you have to have some other trait that separates humans from animals that would therefore justify it. And I don't want to spoil it, but there really isn't one, right? Because the same traits that we use for animals are the same traits that white people use on black people, same traits that men use on women. They come up with these arbitrary lines of, well, they look different, they act different, they have these different traits, therefore we should be able to abuse them, oppress them, whatever it is. But to the nutrition, there's the majority of the best peer-reviewed research wholeheartedly supports that vegan diets are the healthiest at all stages, or can be healthy at all stages of life. Not only that, but they did a specific study where they showed they had groups do animal-based protein and plant-based protein, and the results were that as long as protein is equalized, so they were both getting adequate amounts of protein, there was no difference in muscle gain, in strength, in anything,
Okay.
right? So,
Well, it was good talking to you.
absolutely.
Agreeing to disagree though.
Okay, but
I don't
in
like
order
it.
to disagree, you have to have an argument,
I
right?
think that you should not go on the street, and you should go and talk to people that are equally as educated on like non-vegan diets, so that you can talk to someone that is also has their points across instead of strangers on the street.
Well, I'm here to educate people who may not be educated. Yeah, so that way they
I didn't know
can
if that was the
change.
goal. I didn't know if the goal was an argument like you need to talk to people who are educated on the facts.
I'm not here for fun. I'm not here to get my rocks off, right? I'm here to convince people that what they're doing is that is wrong, and they don't have to continue doing it. Right? I'm here to educate people that they can be healthy and vegan.
They think it's yummy.
So I love kicking puppies, and it really makes me feel good. That's not a justification,
That
right?
is so
Anybody?
different. Like,
How is it different?
You think kicking puppies is the same as eating a steak?
Oh, actually, the abuse that cows go through in factory farming is far worse than kicking a puppy. But when it comes, but when it comes to the reasoning, you're saying, what if you just like doing it? Anybody can use that reasoning to justify anything. I just like doing it, therefore I should be allowed to keep doing it. When your actions harm another sentient animal that can feel pain, feel joy, experience, when they can suffer, including humans, then that's no longer a justification.
Agreed.